you know, there's very few allies that are around to fight against the 1%. But one of the allies that are available to fight, I'll say against the 1%, are the unions. They're one of the few organizations that I know about.
Yeah.
All right. Can everyone understand what I'm saying? Hear me? Awesome. So first of all, I just want to mention that English is not my first language, so if you have any questions about what I'm trying to say, it might not be related to the fact that I'm saying something that is not related to the topic, but the fact that I don't know the words. All right, so you might think that because I'm guessing I'm the youngest person on this panel, I should be more optimistic about Bruce Heyer just said, but I think I'm going to go with the cynical side of it. As David mentioned, I'm the president of a union that works on campus, so the University of Ottawa campus, and I don't see necessarily how a minimum annual income would really impact the power and influence stage of this gap. So I understand how this would help people to have a basic living, have a house, have a roof, and stuff like that, which is really important, but I don't necessarily see how it would make a difference in terms of political influence. Even if you put a gap or a ceiling to a maximum amount of money that someone can get in a year, it doesn't mean that these people don't have influential networks around them, which gives them political power. Take, for example, and probably all of you know Paul Desmarais, who recently died. This person, according to the mass media, started with nothing, and obviously he was rich and everything, but he also had good friends, good allies in the political spheres that helped him achieve that. And not only in Canada, but outside of Canada as well. So the income gap is not the only problematic related to the inequalities in wealth and social problems in society. So basically, where I'm going with that, and I think, Bruce, you said, that in general, people would learn that all wealth, whoa, I can't, can you hear me? Yeah. Oh, so in general, learn that all wealth is not just having or making money, and this is true. And people could probably turn out to focus on their family and focus on their rights and focus on writing a book. But people could also focus on lobbying around political parties, lobbying around the employer, and trying to get upper and upper in the business. The university is no different from business these days. As a president of the union, I even represent some sort of elite in the political sphere where I have access or direct access to the university and the employer. I think the important part of the inequalities in wealth and social, how do you call it in English? Wealth and social? Wealth and social inequalities. So basically the problematic with that is that people need to be conscious of the place they have in society and what they did to achieve that kind of thing. And it's not a question of if you want it, you can get it. That's really not that question. The first time I ran for a political position in a federal political party, it cost me 2 jobs during the summer, and I'd say half my time to get there, whereas the other people who had more money, it was easy. Their parents were paying everything, and they just had to go on vacations around Quebec to run and talk to people. So basically, when they say anyone can get into the political sphere, it's not true. Everyone can get into the political sphere as long as you have enough money and as long as you have enough networked people. And once you're in there, it's easier. You get to know people who have more money than you. It doesn't even matter if you don't have a lot of money, as long as you attend these events and that, I don't know, you don't pay your rent, but you attend these events, these fancy cocktails, where people give you a job. And that happened to me recently. I was invited to a cocktail with people from the university, and I got a job afterwards. So it's not necessarily a question of money, and I'm sure that economists and people in the parliament will debate about what's the 1%, what's the 99%, and how we can manage wealth and social inequalities, but it doesn't stop to the money question. That's Statistics Canada job to tell you who's in the 1% in terms of economy. When it becomes less clear, it's when people act on this money that they have, when people go into lobbying and stuff like that. So basically, I would totally be in favor of a minimum income, annual income salary. And yes, that would help pay a lot of things, but that wouldn't give people maybe in disadvantaged position more power to access their civil rights. It would give them something to live on an individual basis, and not a collective basis, which is different. Let's take, for example, the cost of tuition fees. Even if you get $12,000 per year, my tuition fees are $9,000 per year. And I'm a master's student in political science, so I'm not expecting to be Bill Gates tomorrow morning. But that's a fact. So out of your $12,000 per year, you would have to spend $9,000 only on your tuition fees. And there are circles within the universities, within the academic sphere, that prevents you from getting in. But once you get in, it's a whole new world. So basically, yeah, minimum annual income is great, and it will help a lot of people. But in terms of accessing their civil rights and liberties, it might make it easier for some people, but not necessarily for people who are considered disadvantaged in society. It's too bad Nathalie Desrosiers is not here today, but I would have asked her a question. Take, for example, a law student at the Faculty of Common Law who has to pay $15,000 per year in tuition fees, which is over the minimum annual income. If this person wants to give back to community and wants to get involved with people and teach them how to access their rights and civil liberties, well, this person with a lot of student loans and who probably has to work a lot wouldn't be able to do that just in terms of economy. This person would have to reimburse their student loans and therefore would have to get a corporate lawyer position or live under the minimum wage gap for the rest of their lives. So basically what I'm saying is there's a problem in terms of economy, and that is for sure, and I leave that to the economists and to Statistics Canada, but I encourage you, the panelists and the people in the room, to think about the political wealth and social inequalities in society and how it impacts our civil rights and liberties. Yay!